Hey, what's up, guys? Before I get started, I want to take just a few moments and say I hope everyone is having a very happy and safe Memorial Day weekend holiday. And I hope you're able to enjoy some fantastic fellowship with family and friends and the get-togethers. Just will ask this one thing, guys. Sometime during the barbecues and the cookouts and the festivities that you're enjoying this weekend, try to take just a few moments, guys, and reflect back and remember the fallen heroes that went before us. They gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to enjoy our freedoms. That's what Memorial Day is all about, is remembering those fallen soldiers, airmen, Marines, seamen. And, as you guys already know, everything has a price, and freedom most certainly is not free. And those guys paid the ultimate price. And so take just a few moments, reflect back, and think of those guys, and be thankful. And enjoy the weekend. Have a very, very safe Memorial Day holiday. Now, this is my Springfield XD. We'll get to that in just a minute. I wanted to show y'all something real quick. This is my LCP. And I've got some stuff on here. This is traction grips. Now my buddy Anthony, was PRC Chinko 520, I believe. He sent me these back sometime in the winter. And a couple of months ago I put them on. And I wanted to show him that I am using them. He sent me these, and he also sent me a pink digital camo pair as well, in case my wife was going to be using this gun still, which she does not. But so I don't use the pink ones. But now E-Bomb, he said he really wants those pink ones. Something about them matching a thong that he's got. So I don't know, but I may send those to him. But at any rate, I did put these on, and they're really kind of easy to put on. They're made out of a kind of a mylar. It's thin, but it's very, very strong. And when you put them on, you heat them up with a like a hair dryer, and it becomes very, very pliable. And you can push it down into the stipple or the stipulation for your grips, and it comes through and gives you a pretty good little grip. So at any rate, they're easy to put on, and I have took one back off, and so it doesn't leave any residue on your gun when you take it off. At least it didn't on this one. So this is an option, and they're traction grips. It's an option for guys with polymer guns, because most polymers don't let you change the grips. And so you have an option now if you don't change the look of your gun. Now when I first put it on, I was like, I don't know. But I've gotten used to it, and I really kind of like the way it looks, and I wanted to show Anthony I am using them, and like I said, I've gotten used to it. I like them, so I'm going to leave them on there for a while. But I will link to Anthony down here in the description in case you have any questions about those. I'm certain he can answer any questions that you have. So traction grips. Now, a couple of weeks ago, no, that's wrong. It was about a month and a half ago. It would have been a couple of weeks ago if I'd made this video when I wanted to make this video. But I was at the range shooting. There's an afternoon shoot, so there's quite a few folks there, and I wasn't able to video it. But I had a guy that was shooting a couple of lanes over from me. We were down, there was a ceasefire on the line, we were down pacing our targets. He came up and he asked me if he could ask a question. And I was like, well, sure. He said, looking at your targets, you have a pretty tight group. And so I was like, well, thank you. He said, I have a problem. My gun that I have now, I've had for about 6 months, and I have literally shot the crap out of it. I cannot bring it up. I'm shooting low, and I can't get my groups tight. Is there any suggestions or any tips that you can give me that might help me out? And I've had other people shoot my guns, and they can shoot okay with it. I'm just low. He said, I'm not real experienced with pistols. He said, but I'm just low. I'm all over the place at the bottom of the target. I'm on paper, but I can't bring it up and keep it up in the 4 and 5 area. So I was like, well, dude, I'm not an expert or anything, but I will be happy to help you any way I can. So when we got back to the line, I said, let me watch you fire off a couple of rounds. So I did. His grip was good. His finger placement on the trigger was good. His trigger pull was good. His stance was good. He wasn't jerking the trigger. He wasn't flinching when he shot. I mean, his fundamentals looked really, really sound. So when he got done shooting, but he was low. And when he's all over the place, he wasn't side to side. His windage was fine, but his elevation was down. And he was shooting just lower and lower. He's all in the bottom part of the target. So I said, dude, what's your sight picture look like? So we drew out on a target, turned a target over, and he drew out, and he had 3-dot sights, standard 3-dot sights. I think he was shooting an M&P 9, if memory serves. But so he shot, he drew out his sight picture for me. His sight alignment was good. All 3 dots were lined up. He was using a combat hole, so he was aiming center mast. And I said, so that's what you see when you shoot? And he goes, yeah. And I said, all right, where's your concentration point at? What are you looking at? Where's your focus? And he said, on the target. I said, okay. He said, when I first bring the gun up, I look at the sight picture and the sights, get them lined up, then I shift focus to the target before I shoot. I was like, all right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me 5 or 6 really good shots. Forget about the target. Concentrate on your front sight post. Get your sight picture lined up, get your sight alignment lined up, concentrate on the front sight post, forget the target. He goes, but it'll be blurry. And I said, I understand. You'll be able to see it with your peripheral vision. Guys, you cannot, the human eye does not have the ability to focus on a distance target and a close target at the same time. It's one or the other. So one's going to be blurry. So I said, I want you to concentrate on your front sight post. You'll be able to see with your peripheral vision to aim at center mast, or if you're using a combat hold or target hold, it'll be 6 o'clock. Whatever you do, I want you to concentrate here and do not take your concentration off that front sight post once you get your sight alignment up. So he did that. He fired off 6 or 7 rounds. We went down, looked at it, and all of them were up in the 4 and 5 area, not much bigger than the palm of my hand. He said, wow. I said, okay, let's do some more. So he did that about 3 or 4 more times, and they were all right there. And he said, so I need to concentrate on the front sight post. I said, absolutely. I said, the target, the distance target in the end, it will take care of itself. It will be a little bit blurry, but you will be able to see where to hold that front sight post. When we were taught to shoot, guys, back years ago when I was in the service, that's one of the things that they told us. And another thing they told us, that if you switch back and forth, which if you're young, you can switch back and forth pretty quick. He said, you will have a tendency to shoot low. That's what they always told us. And I have found that to be a fact. You may not always shoot low, but your tendency will be to shoot low. And the reason being is when you shift focus from your front sight post to the distant, it's human nature to move out of the way, to either raise your head, dip the gun. You don't even consciously know you're doing it. You want to get that out of the way so you can see a clear shot. So that's why you always concentrate here, and you use your peripheral vision to line it up on the target where you want. And you will be able to see it well enough to do so. And so there it is. So guys, if you're shooting low and you have a tendency to shoot low and you're pretty sure your sight picture's good, give that tip a try. See if it doesn't help you out. Pete and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the guns that we've had, and probably between both of us, we've owned well over 100 different guns. So chances are at least 100 guns. And we were talking about out of the box alignment. And with the exception of very few, most guns right out of the box from the factory, the sights are pretty close. You know, one of the things people do when they fire a couple of rounds and they'll start messing around, maybe the windage is off a little bit, but if they have an elevation, they'll start messing around with it. Most of the time, not all, most of the time, they're pretty close. You may have to make an adjustment here and there. There are exceptions, but most of the time they're pretty close. So concentrate your front sight post. You might find yourself a little bit more accurate. That's all I got now, guys. Hey, see you later.